What main or subtopics specifically are you going to discuss about your broad topic? Remember, you are not doing general biographies or broad cultural histories. Your papers are about specific events. Those usually have a chronology, so that is the way most papers are written. This is where your tertiary sources, such as encyclopedias, come in. You have to learn the basics before you can make sense of the details. My example is going to be about the Silk Road. Since the Silk Road is a huge subject, we need to narrow it down. When we do a general search in the library, there are thousands of choices. This one seemed interesting to me, so I chose it. The article is about trade, so that is our first narrowing place. We are not going to talk about culture or religion or people. We are only going to look at trade and trade routes. A great place to start is Wikipedia. You're not going to be able to use it as a source, but this is going to accomplish several things for you. I've already decided to focus on trade, but even that is a huge topic. Will I look at specific goods, economics, cultural diffusion, or something else? I've decided to focus on routes. Open the article or articles most closely related to your topic. First, this is going to introduce you to the key players and events in a pretty well-organized manner. You need a baseline for your subject, and tertiary sources are very good at providing this. Read the opening paragraph for a broad overview and to add some keywords to your list. These keywords are the most important part of this exercise. Look at the table of contents. This may be the most useful tool in Wikipedia. It is a big list of all of the major topics in your subject. It should be obvious this is too much, but you can quickly narrow down your possibilities based on the breakdown of topics here. I wanted to work on trade, so I can skip right past the sections on the various cultures and religion and art. More important for my purposes, there is an entire section on routes.
Wikipedia also has other useful stuff at the beginning. There are often maps pinpointing locations so you can orient yourself. There's usually a sidebar that lists biographical information or battle information like who was on what side and the overall outcome. Chronologies can help a lot when it comes to deciding what order to put your information in. Always start with your research question. As you read, you will figure out if your initial ideas are well directed and how you really want to go. The research question is somewhat flexible and it will not actually be used in the final version. It's fine to adjust it as you discover more about your topic. Just don't make so many changes that your research needs to go in a different direction. You're more likely to end up tightening it. But notice how tightly focused this question is. It is specific to routes, which means I can look at specific topics and ignore everything else. I strongly recommend putting your research question at the top of your document so you can keep it fresh and on your mind at all times. You do not want to get distracted by other interesting things you come across. Click on the section you want in the table of contents and you jump right there. I'm going to skip straight down to the routes section so I can see what I can mine. Right away we see there are links to more detailed articles. We will want to use those. One of the things we're doing here is determining what your subtopics are going to be. Wikipedia can often be helpful with that. It is entirely possible this breakdown of North, South, Southwest, and Maritime can make up the main topic areas of my paper. Beginning at the beginning, I will examine the northern routes. Start sorting your information. As you read, make a general list of topics you've already encountered in your research. I did this one based on what I found in Wikipedia. Next, I looked in each of the section pages to find the most relevant subtopics. They were mostly just a list of nation-states and descriptions of the routes. In a geography-based paper, you will want to include many maps to demonstrate the routes. My topics may change as I develop the paper further, but I'm already looking at a pretty thorough examination just based on the geography. Most of you should be able to line up your topics in a geographical or chronological order and have something similar. Now it is time to start looking for sources and to make notes on them. Since you've broken down your main topic into small bites, you have a pretty accurate list of the things you are searching for. In my case, I will want to do general searches for each of the 4 routes, and I know that 2 of them have other names, Karakoram Route and T-Horse Road. I also know that the maritime route was less Chinese and more Pacific Islander, so I need to examine it from their perspective. We're not quite ready to head to the library yet. Wikipedia still has some preliminary information for us.
Scroll down to the bottom of your article. Most Wikipedia articles come with footnotes. This is a really important part. Wikipedia can be edited by anyone, so you don't know if the information has been tampered with, but the footnotes provided usually link back to primary sources, journal articles, books, or news articles that you can go to directly to see what was actually said. You will want to look at the set of footnotes specifically related to your topic. For this topic, they were number 127 through 133. As you look through the sources, pay attention to the type. Always be on the lookout for primary sources. There is usually a requirement for 1 or 2 in a paper. You can tell by the title that some are tertiary. This tourist site, for example, will not be usable. This global history is not going to work either. Open the ones that seem helpful. If the links don't work, you can do a Google or library search to see if you can find it. If you cannot find the source, you cannot use it.
Some are not obvious by their title or publisher how useful they will be. You don't need to put a lot of work into these. There are going to be plenty of valid sources to choose from, no matter what your topic. Good journal articles are always great, as are books from university presses. If the titles suggest they might be helpful, you may want to look for them. We're getting close to covering how to do that. Not all Wikipedia pages are going to have good footnotes or sources. Different qualities of writing and citing are because of the anyone can edit it aspect of Wikipedia. This is just one of the reasons you're not allowed to use it as a source. Don't forget to mine those other pages for sources. This is the top section of the Maritime Silk Road page. It is a lot more specific than the main page.
The last thing you want to do before you leave Wikipedia is look up any unknown vocabulary words. Hopefully you will bump into many things you did not know before. This is an important objective of learning. But you can't just pass over them or make assumptions that you can understand it from context. You need to make sure that it is not important to understanding the topic. In this case, the word syncretic jumps out. I suspect most of you are not familiar with it, but consider other words you know that begin with syn. Synthesis is the combining of various pieces of information to create a new perspective. This is what you're expected to do with your research paper. Synthetic is a combination of various materials used to create a new material. After looking it up, you understand that syncretic is combining ideas and religions. As you can imagine, that was an important effect of the Silk Roads. If you are not encountering new ideas and vocabulary, you are not doing good research. Go down those rabbit holes. Getting a strong foundation and background for your paper is one of the most important things you can do. Wikipedia can be a great option for that. As always, please contact the library if you have any questions. We are here to help you succeed.